your courage in going up against your idiotic colleagues who are bank puppet legislators and are not representing the interests of the citizens. They are representing the interests of banks, much to the grave peril and danger of the millions of citizens in our state. And I know how much courage that takes, and I want to thank you. I also want to thank the organizers for this event. This is our 3rd annual rally to Tallahassee to try and educate our uneducated legislators that they are moving in a direction that is extremely harmful to citizens. I believe many of them know this fact, and yet they continue to do it anyway because they are representing their true constituents, the corporations and the banks, not the people who elected them into office. The first 2 years, a few of us arranged this, and this year the Mortgage Justice Group took up this huge task, and they've done a wonderful job, and I want to thank them, honor them for their work, and thank our sponsors. I want to let everyone know that every single legislator, every representative, and every senator that works in this building for us is up for re-election this year. Every single one. Every one of them. There are many, many groups that support one party or another based on their religious beliefs or their beliefs about social issues like abortion or social issues like who someone chooses to love. And all I can say about that is consider carefully the position that your elected representative is going to take on issues that truly matter to you, your parents, your community, and your children. Put your vote towards that. The other issues are very important to you, but they are not going to matter if you don't have a roof over your head. Please, this is very important because we have millions of people that are voting for representatives and senators that are going to place votes and bills that are contrary to their family's interest because they have bought into the idea that 2 and only 2 issues are the primary issues to vote a representative or senator into office. Please, encourage people, especially in religious communities, educate them that if they vote for someone based on political issues that are campaign issues only, they are harming themselves, their children, their parents, and their community. This is very important. Everyone is up for re-election in there. Don't vote them back in if they're going to harm your family and leave you homeless. I urge everyone to go to court. Go to court and watch what happens in foreclosure court. Watch how the judges are biased against any person that is about to lose their home. It is no different than when judges were biased and still in some cases are against a person because of the color of their skin or their immigration status. It is very important that we educate people what this is, what this time means. It is a time to malign, stigmatize, and marginalize a group of people because a more powerful industry has determined them to be less worthy of rights that belong to all of us. That is what this time is about, and we must stand up and refuse to take on the shame that the foreclosure and the financial sector wishes to throw on us. We must say we are not ashamed, and you know what? You should be ashamed. We do not have access to justice here in our courts in many ways, and we certainly don't have access to justice through our legislators, our law enforcers, and our regulatory agencies. But you know where we have justice from? In my personal belief, I have justice from a God, and we also have justice from our own conscience and our human belief that we as a group can fight for what is right. And so there is a term called opprobrium. And opprobrium means shame to the point of changing behavior. And we as citizens must shame these financial institutions. We must shame the legislators that support them to our grave peril. And we must look at them as the cloak of shame that is thrown on us. We must be like a boomerang and throw that shame back where it belongs. This is very important for social change, and we all must understand this is the only way we are going to make a change, is to stand up proud and say, I am not the one who is ashamed. You, though. Yes. Shame on you. Yeah. And we say that to our legislators, and we say that to our law enforcers and our judges, and you look with a cold, steely, strong resolve, and shame on you. So we have to fight this bill because, again, this bill is basically saying, yes, we know the entire system is fraudulent, and you and your family, with your reduced resources and your great recession-impacted family, have to fight this machine. You have the burden of proving everything. You don't have the normal rights afforded to citizens in our courts of law. The equal protection, property rights, and due process rights don't belong to you. And you know what our answer is to that? Shame on you! That's right. And when we go into court and we see these biased judges, those are elected judges, and when we see them not listening to our attorneys and not listening to us, you know what our answer is to that? Shame on you! That's right, shame on you. And when we see good decisions coming out of our appellate courts, and then reversed upon bank request, and this is happening time and time and time again, especially in the 4th District Court of Appeals, those judges will come up with a decision that says, hey, that foreclosure was wrong, judges in the lower court. Go back there and fix what you did wrong. And the banks write to the judges and say, hey, appellate judges, can you tweak that decision a little bit because it was a little bit uncomfortable for us, the banking industry, to read. And you know what our appellate judges do? No problem. We'll change it, no problem. And they do it time and time and time again. And you know what we say to our elected appellate judges? Shame on you! Right, that's what we say. And when the financial sector and the foreclosure machine tries to say, hey, the deadbeats need to be kicked out of their homes because the faster we make more people homeless, the faster our economy is going to recover. And we know that doesn't make sense, but many of the people right behind me in this building will say that those exact words would absolutely seem like they are saying what is the God's honest truth. And you know what we say to people like that? Shame on you! Now, there are many ways to foreclose fraudulently, and we don't have a year for me to stand up here and tell you all the ways, but I'm just going to go through a couple of them. One is to return payments. Somebody's paying every month on time. They get a refund check saying that there was some misapplication of payments. The bank won't accept any more of their payments, and in a few months they're in foreclosure. So the bank's position is, hey, they're not paying. Well, the answer is, you're not accepting my payments. But we're not allowed to say that in a court of law and be listened to because our judges are biased and because now we have new laws coming that we aren't even going to have the right to say that. Again, you know what we say to the judges and legislators about that? Shame on you! So another scam is to put force-placed insurance or to manipulate the escrow payments or to misapply payments or to hold somebody's check and then say you're not paying the right amount and we're going to foreclose on your home. That is another manufactured foreclosure. Another manufactured foreclosure is promising someone they're going to get a modification. They just need to be late a couple of months and they'll get that modification. The person stops paying for a couple of months as instructed, and a few months later they get foreclosure papers and they cannot extricate themselves from this quagmire of hell. There are so many ways that there are good, hard-working, honest people that just want to put a roof over their family's head and food on the table, and they are struggling to make this happen, and they are being lied to, abused, and scammed by this foreclosure enterprise. We must stand up for our rights, not stop talking. God help us if this bill passes, but if it passes, we will not stop fighting. This bill will not stop us whether it passes or not. If it does pass, it is incredibly important we get the message out. Defend your homes. You must defend your homes. Figure out how to do it. If you can't afford a lawyer, go into the courthouse, study court files that attorneys have filed. Learn how to defend your home. Do not stop fighting. We will change the paradigm with opprobrium. We will change the paradigm with more and more and more people fighting back. They cannot win with our numbers. We need to increase our numbers. Tell your communities, fight back. There is no shame. You know where the shame belongs? On the legislators. the regulatory agencies. It belongs on our law enforcers, on our attorney general, and those who declare foreclosures as a good, positive, economy-boosting process. They are lying, and we should say, shame on you. For more information, you can come to our websites, foreclosurefraud.org, foreclosurehamlet.org. We have a radio show every Sunday night on WSBR Radio. You can get it on the internet if you're in South Florida. It's 7:40 a.m., 6 to 8 p.m. every Sunday night. Remember, strong, steely resolve, opprobrium, social shame. These banks and legislators need to be shamed out of our country.
Yeah!